Okay. I guess Matt botched again and didn't put our music. But this is
Yeah.
Skits here on WH Radio. This is Skits
Welcome
here
to
on
WH.
WH Radio. This is Skits here on WH Radio, and I'm joined here with my co-hosts Oscar and Tom. What's going on, gentlemen? How you guys doing today?
Well, another day, you could say not another new day, but another day after a WWE pay-per-view.
Yeah, it's definitely been a crazy last couple of days in the world of pro wrestling. You know, obviously some good, some bad, but you know, I think that's all part of what wrestling's about, man.
Yeah, we got a lot
Yeah,
to talk about. I say.
and from what to piggyback off what Tom just said, he's basically talking about somebody that me and Oscar, I know we're starting to see on a regular basis every other month at PWG, Mr.
And
Josh
a guest of
Alexander.
ours.
What was that?
Yeah. Yeah, he's a former guest of ours in the show too.
Yeah, former guest of ours. He's actually been on here twice. I know he came on here with his tag team partner, All Evil, Ethan Page.
Yeah.
I believe this Sunday at the Alpha One show, he announced his retirement, which sucks, because to be honest with you, the dude was on fire at the moment. You know, he had the AAW title. He was AIW champ. He still currently is. I heard he has like a couple more shows left, but after that, he's gonna be retiring. And from what I hear, like he's retiring due to like injuries. And I think that's what I'm hearing. And and also I know you know he also has a wife and a kid. So I mean, uh, maybe it all worked out in one. I would say, um, I don't know, man, but it sucks though.
Yeah, I mean, guy's on fire. He was probably in pace to be one of our top wrestlers in the WH top 100 of 2015. But unfortunately, injuries sometimes it just get to you, and maybe he thought to himself, you know what, maybe this is not the best for him, and I guess he found another career, and so he can move on. Like we just said, he has a wife and kid to think about, and with all these injuries, maybe he just got creeping to him, and I wish him the best, and I will see him at hopefully I get to see him at PWG because it's called Mystery Vortex. Who knows if they're going to be there or not? But
From what Matt is telling me, that he won't be at the next PWG show. That's from what I'm getting from Matt. And you know how Matt's very close with both Monster Mafia members.
Yeah.
But it's crazy because dude's only 28, man. And he has to retire this early.
Yeah, he's just 28 years old. And unfortunately, sometimes there's some people like to think about their futures. And if he doesn't want to continue this, that's on him. And would I like to wish him to continue on? Yeah, I'd like to. But fortunately, if he wants to move on, maybe he found another career to work on, and wish him the best of luck to him and his family.
Yeah, I mean, when I heard the news, I saw it because Weekly Wrestling Podcast tweeted it out because he tweeted out that he's going to be wrestling his last match at Alpha One July 12th, and it was kind of like one of those things where it's just like, no way, like it has to be. I thought it was like part of a storyline going on or something. I was like, his final match, that's crazy to think, but then you find out it's true. And Josh, I think this morning is when he posted a long blog on Blogspot, which if you go to his Twitter, which is at walking_weapon, You can read about it. I mean, I highly recommend it. Very, very emotional piece. Obviously the guy put his heart into it, and he loved this business. And what you guys were talking about, his injury, it's 2 years ago he wrote about that he broke his neck at AAW, and he was in a lot of pain, and he took, I think he said, 6 months off to try and heal. And he goes on about going to the ROH tryout camp, which he said he didn't really like that concept because it's like he's wrestled for them before. But regardless, going back to his injury, he's been dropped on his head a couple more times, and it's crazy to think about that he's been working so long with so much pain. I mean, it's unbelievable, and I think it really shows how tough these wrestlers are, and especially Josh Alexander. I mean, I couldn't imagine going out there. He's talking about his whole left arm is feeling numb and his neck's in shooting pain, and he still went out there and he was killing it. He was killing it in 2015. He was having one of his best years. 2014 was a great year, but it seems
let's not forget, Tom, that him and Ethan Page also won the PWG Tag Title last year for a short time at DDT4, which was cool.
Yeah, and that's one of the things. Go ahead.
I was gonna say we have like 2 callers. Maybe you want to see what their thoughts on with Josh Alexander's situation. Let's go with the 40 area code. You're on WH Radio. 540. Okay, what an idiot. Say about this idiots. Let's see if this person's an idiot here at 412.
No, I'm not it. How's it going? How's it going, guys? No, I'm not it. This is JD from Pittsburgh. How you guys doing tonight?
What's going on, JD from Pittsburgh?
Yeah, not much. Just want to talk to you about Raw tonight, if that's cool.
That's cool.
Right.
What's your thoughts on tonight's Raw?
Interesting show. I mean, to quote and say it best, however, from Kurt Russell and Tombstone, however, you tell him I'm coming, Hell's coming with me. I think Hell just came in the form of Mr. Lesnar, and I think Rollins is just about basically pissed himself literally in the middle of the ring, and he's just about ready to back out because I think his championship reign is just about near an end, if you ask me.
Yeah, besides the whole situation that happened at the end of... Are you there?
Yeah, I'm
still
there.
You're there. Yeah, besides the whole situation with Brock Lesnar coming back, you any thoughts on the whole Kevin Owens, John Cena match from last night, and also what happened today with the match with Owens and Ziggler, and what Kevin Owens also did to
Machine Gun Kelly.
Machine Gun Kelly. Yeah, that's his name.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I mean, I think Owens beating Cena, continues the feud, obviously going into Battleground. I thought him and Ziggler tonight was a great match. It was one of the better matches of the night. And what he did to Machine Gun Kelly was sort of like a replay in a way of like what Eric Bischoff happened to Eric Bischoff back in '96, if you remember how. And they say, disciplinary action is going to be taken. I'm sorry. This guy, you don't want to piss off. Believe me, this guy is just a guy right now who is just absolutely hell-bent on destroying anyone in his path. And my question to you is this: talk about Rollins. How there is talk about him and Triple H maybe going at SummerSlam. I don't know if you guys heard that or not. And if that's the case, where do they put Owens? Do they have him maybe in Brock Lesnar feud at SummerSlam maybe after this whole Cena thing? Where do they go from here?
You said Triple H and who?
Rollins.
No. He said no. Yeah, he said that it's due to the fact that all these rumors that's going on today about Triple H and Rollins going at it at SummerSlam. Who would Brock would go at it? Maybe he's asking possibly Kevin Owens, if I'm not mistaken.
From what I read also, if we want to speak rumors, it's talk about Roman Reigns and Brock Lesnar.
Yeah.
Well, that could be a possibility, Roman Reigns and Brock Lesnar. And also now I'm hearing Kevin Owens against Brock Lesnar. And I'm also hearing just now rumors that, I hope it's not it, but Machine Gun Kelly versus Kevin Owens. Now, I don't want to see that.
That's a pure lie, bro. Wherever you heard that from, that person needs to sit in the corner right
tweets,
now.
I see tweets. I know I'm hearing tweets and rumors that due to the fact that now that maybe Cody's taking a break off because of the death of his father, and I guess they want to have some kind of celebrity involved in SummerSlam. I guess the original plan was, the guy who plays the Arrow was to wrestle Cody, but not to his dad passing away, he's probably gonna kill off the Stardust character in a bit. And the Machine Gun Kelly and Kevin Owens is going to probably happen, but I doubt that's going to happen. I don't know who wants to do that.
This is the first time I'm ever hearing this trash news that you just came up with.
That's all these dumb tweets. I'm all like, okay, whatever. But oh well. But I doubt it. That's going to happen.
Tom, did you want to say anything about the comments our caller just asked us?
Yeah, I'll probably get more, in more depth with this later, but, I think I said for months that this is leading to a Triple H Rollins feud. I don't know where it leaves, like, Ambrose and, it's really weird because I was banking on the prediction last night that Ambrose was going to win the title and Reigns was going to win the Money in the Bank match because I felt like that would have made sense. But then you have Sheamus win the Money in the Bank, which we'll get into talking about that. And I don't know, it's really weird right now. It's not bad, but it's just like all these different scenarios that are playing out. It's kind of strange.
Yeah, I noticed.
But
no, I noticed on these pay-per-views lately. They've been switching up the decisions lately. Like, remember on Chamber, we all heard that Sheamus was going to win the Intercontinental Championship. Oh, they gave it right back. Then we hear about Roman Reigns possibly winning the Money in the Bank. They gave it to Sheamus, And all these talks of possibly Kevin Owens beating Cena, they got Cena winning. So, I feel like they hear us, but they switch them around. Like, okay, let's make this unpredictable. So
from the
looks,
looks,
the way it looks
what
like
I was going to say, go ahead.
Go ahead.
No, from what I was going to say, right now it looks like Kevin Owens might be taking that title from Cena. Maybe Cena maybe it could have him disappear for a while.
Yeah.
Maybe for like one pay-per-view, to make Kevin Owens look strong. And I see Kane and basically Dean Ambrose just basically wrote tonight in their little promo in the locker that they're going to have a feud.
Yeah, but then you don't want to say, well, Cena's not going to be gone for a month. Remember, he's part of that special on July 4th, which I said, I think, a week ago that I predict Kevin Owens lose the NXT title to Finn Balor. Now I'm starting to think it's more likely it's going to happen. Maybe Cena will cost Owens the match. And then
I don't see him costing nothing. I don't see why does John Cena need to go to NXT for what to get involved in their feud.
No. The July 4th show is not going to be an NXT show. It's a live show in Japan, which they have Kevin Owens against Finn Balor.
I don't think he needs to get involved. John Cena's supposed to be like the super face. Why get involved in a match? You're John Cena. You're like the baby face of the whole company. Why call somebody a match? Doesn't make sense to me. If anything, have Kevin Owens.
I don't think.
Well, the only way you can see this is that, okay, right now, you just saw right now, Kevin Owens said he's going to take the U.S. title from him. Okay, so then you have Cena cost him the championship, then you can have Owens come back on Raw.
But then Finn Balor doesn't look strong, beating Kevin Owens.
Well, let me finish. You have Owens come out, and then he gets pissed off they lost the title, and then that's where you can make it say, okay, he's good. There's a reason why he's going to have him beat Cena, take the U.S. title, because he cost him the NXT title match. And remember, about Balor, okay, Balor could just come in NXT, and then there's people could get in his ear saying, hey, you didn't win it fair and square, but then this could lead to the heel turn, which he might admit that he's the one to tag Hideo. You know what I'm saying?
But Hideo Itami's not coming back for a while, so
I know, but this story will lead to it.
I don't know. To me, it doesn't make sense. You want Finn Balor to win, like
I know,
strongly. You want him.
I know. You want to win strongly, but unfortunately, we all know he's the guy is gonna turn on a day, and he's gonna, this is a close, a
Let me
close
ask
way to
our
turn him heel.
let me ask our caller. What do you think?
Well, you guys just mentioned the guys. I mean, obviously Finn Balor's being picked at, however, but they're also saying now Samoa Joe's going to go after Kevin Owens and maybe take that NXT title away from him, or because I mean they're already having Owens up here full time now, so it makes sense. So I don't know. We'll see. I mean, time will tell, guys. Time will tell. But the other thing that pisses me off more than anything, and I think it's really crazy though in a way, and maybe you guys agree with me. I mean, we've seen Paige. I wouldn't say whine and complain, but she has been whining and complaining about the whole Divas division and how the Bellas always do the stupid twin magic rue. I mean, is that leading to maybe seeing talking about NXT someone like Sasha Banks or Bayley or even
I see Charlotte making her debut, which I was going to share later here on the show. Yeah. I see her making her debut at Battleground as a mystery partner.
I could see it before then. I'm thinking maybe in maybe 2 or 3 weeks before Battleground. But you never know. I mean, it depends on if they go with that. But I think you're right. I could see it at Battleground too. But I think they got to do something because the Divas division continues to be a freaking ass joke, if you ask me. It really is.
It's terrible. I mean, if you got JR talking trash about the fucking Divas, it's definitely garbage. But can we get your Twitter or something like that? Because we're actually about to move on to the next topic.
Sure. I don't have Twitter. I do have Facebook. I have my own show on The Extreme on Blog Talk Radio. We talk Raw. We talk Money in the Bank with my co-hosts every Wednesday night from 8 to 9 or 9:30. So be sure to check it out. And on Happy Hour Broadcasting, however, talking sports from 7 to 8 every Tuesday.
All right. Well, thanks for calling in, man. It was fun talking.
Thanks, guys. Bye.
Take care.
Yeah, that was a cool conversation there. Did you say he was from Pittsburgh, right?
Yeah, he's from Pittsburgh, yeah.
Yeah. It's always cool to talk to other folks from different podcasts. I wish he had Twitter, we can definitely keep in touch.
Definitely. Yeah, definitely.
But yeah, I know we were talking about the whole Josh Alexander situation. I'm sorry I had to cut you off there, Tom.
Oh no, I was just kind of finishing up, and I tweeted out to Josh that I wish him best because obviously he's been working hard to get to where he has been, and I kind of said this, at least he accomplished everything he wanted to accomplish. He said he wanted to get into Ring of Honor. He got into Ring of Honor. He wanted to get into PWG. He not only got into PWG, but he was PWG Tag Team Champions. And that's all you can ask. It's obviously terrible that he's retiring, and it kind of makes you step back for a bit and kind of realize that obviously this stuff can happen at any level, whether it's independent or WWE level. This could happen at any time. Edge had to retire early because of neck issues. Tons of wrestlers had to retire because of neck issues. So this is not something to play with.
Edge is one.
Yeah, it sucks though. But like I said, Josh, he fought through the pain for all the fans to go out there. So big respect to Josh, and I have no doubt he'll be doing good going forward. And I know us here at Wrestling Heads, and obviously I'm pretty sure Matt's good friends with him. He's gonna miss him a lot, but we wish him luck at whatever he does going forward.
Definitely. Shout out to Josh Alexander, and you got our love over here at the, as Tom said, much love to you. But let's go ahead and talk about last night's Money in the Bank, and if we have to piggyback off Raw with some of these subjects, so be it. Money in the Bank. To be honest with you, I was just getting home, so I missed the pre-show, but I did hear our Truth went over Wade Barrett, or King Barrett. What are you gonna call these days?
Waste of fucking time. Waste.
Yeah.
That I watched it and I immediately regretted watching it. Such a fucking waste. Why is R-Truth going over Wade Barrett? Why? No fucking sense whatsoever. I mean, Jesus Christ, I don't know what the WWE their deal is with pushing Barrett. It seems like the guy gets a good push and he either gets injured or WWE just like completely puts him into a 180 and sends him, spiraling back down the card. It makes no sense. What are they doing with this fucking guy?
Yeah, and that's what we questioned a few months back. Why did they give him the King of the Ring? Why not give it to Neville? I mean, is this a slap in the face what they're doing with the King of the Ring thing? I mean, I asked you guys this question. Do you see Wade Barrett being the WWE champ between now and 5 years? You both said no. So you basically, since you made him win the King of the Ring, you kind of made him a joke, You made him lose to Neville at the pay-per-view after, and you made him lose to R-Truth in the pre-show? Like, okay. That's, I don't know. It's almost making me want to say, don't do any more King of the Ring, because you're picking the wrong guy and you end up as a joke. It's sad to say, but the King of the Ring used to mean something, but doesn't mean shit anymore. Look at Wade Barrett. And Wade Barrett looks like he's in the best shape in his life. He looks like he's better off than he was with the Nexus, But
it's funny that you guys just said that, and tonight on Raw, he lost again, but after he attacked Truth, and he basically mentioned the same thing what you guys are mentioning. He was like, you're making this a joke when it's supposed to be prestigious. So I don't know if that's something's gonna change after that. I don't know. I really don't know what's going on with this whole R-Truth. R-Truth has been around since, I guess, WrestleMania. He's been in this in these weird mid-card storylines. With Wade Barrett. I don't know if you noticed that. He stole his IC title, remember? And now he's messing with him with the crown. It's kind of weird, So I don't know what the fuck they're doing. I don't know whose idea it is to even get Truth even TV time at the moment. But I don't know. From tonight's attack by Barrett, I don't know. We'll see what's next.
Well, I can explain to you about Truth's why he's getting TV time. He's basically replacing Santino doing comedy gig type in the show. So that's
but the sad part, I wouldn't even say that. I wouldn't even say that. I wouldn't even put him. I wouldn't give him that much credit because Santino's comic gimmick was different than what R-Truth is. R-Truth got to put it in the fucking the ladder match. I don't think Santino would ever got put in that match, to be honest with you. That's just me, but...
Well, he is sort of similar. Yeah, I know Santino never been in those kind of special type matches. He has been Intercontinental U.S. champion, but, they don't have no one else to come out and do wacky, ridiculous things today. Now that Santino is no longer in the... he's no longer around. I guess R-Truth is the perfect guy.
I would say the newest comic. I would say the newest comic right now, even though they're heels, is the New Day. They're comedy. They're funny as fuck.
Yeah,
but
not only that, they got a lot of heat. But we can explain about the New Day later on.
Let me ask Tom real quick before we move on to the more Money in the Bank talk. What's your thoughts on what Oscar just said?
I don't know. Listen, I like Truth. He's been around a long time, but he's kind of on the list with the veterans like Kane, Mark Henry, Big Show, where they kind of maybe need to go. I mean, I don't know. I feel like like R-Truth trying does comedy, and he's funny once in a while, but a lot of the time I'm just kind of cringing at what he's doing. And I don't know. I'm a little sick of R-Truth at this point. That's why I said WWE needs kind of more comedy characters. Because you're going to have to replace these guys eventually. So you kind of need to do it quick.
I honestly think they already got him too. And the fucking besides the New Day, primetime players are comedy too. I think they're funny too. So
yeah, yeah, that's true.
But let's move on. Money in the Bank starts off with the Money in the Bank actual matchup, and for those that do not or that do not know who was in that match, you had Kane, Roman Reigns, Randy Orton, Dolph Ziggler, Sheamus, Kofi Kingston, and Neville.
Did you before we get to that? Did you want to mention real quick the Dusty tribute?
Sure, why not? Go ahead.
Yeah, so typically like they do for every tribute, everybody was out on stage. They did a 10-bell salute to Dusty Rhodes. They did a video package, which they showed on Raw tonight as well. It was kind of the same video package. It's a tough way to start off a show like that because you usually you want to start off a show kind of hot, and you start off with a show with a tribute to someone who's so influential in wrestling. So it's kind of a weird feeling starting off the pay-per-view like that. But obviously they had to do it. It sucked seeing so many of the guys and girls on stage. A lot of them were crying. Seth Rollins looked like he was going to start crying. Paige looked like she was going to start breaking down. I'm pretty sure I saw like Lana breaking down, crying. A lot of emotion to start off Money in the Bank.
Yeah, you gotta, like, for those that don't know, like, guys like Seth Rollins, Paige, and Lana, like, they all worked with him every day down at NXT. He did a lot of help down there. Like I mentioned before last week, he did a lot of help down there with development. So I see why those talents are very touched right now.
I mean, that's what you said. Because these people used to, or maybe still are, get to see or get to know Dusty Rhodes on a daily basis. He probably helped some of the talents over the are today, like Seth Rollins. He probably gave him advice and all that, and same with Paige, there was time where he was involved. Well, basically, the head guy in SCW, and look at the guys were there. Dean, Roman, Seth, Paige. They all were there, and even outside of the WWE, like I think Eva Lee said something about him, and the time she was in SCW. EC3 was part of the SCW at one point. They all give out their condolences to the Rhodes family, because they there's a one point in their life they've been around with Dusty Rhodes alive. Well, of course, it's gonna hurt him inside, that he's he's gone. So,
Yeah. Once again, I'm gonna say it again. The American Dream will be missed. But let's go ahead and move on. Like I just mentioned, the Money in the Bank matchup. All I have to say, Roman Reigns is looking hella strong in that match, and I'm not even gonna shit on the dude because I just want to say I think people need to stop shitting on Roman, because Roman does put in hard work in matches too. I gotta give him credit. He did great in the Money in the Bank. Some spots that he did when he powerbombed Kofi into the ladder in the corner, and then he powerbombed Neville into Kofi. That spot where he leaped over the ring, that was nuts. But other guys like Randy Orton was killing it, just doing his spot where he RKO'd just about everybody. But I felt like some guys were just there to just there to be there, and that's guys like Kane. Why are you in this match? I didn't see Kane do shit. Ziggler did a little bit, but after that, it's like whatever about this match, And Adrian Neville, he hit his finisher, of course, but I feel like this Money in the Bank was kind of missing a little something. It could have been more moves, I think, more spots.
Yeah, I think the last Money in the Bank match with Seth and Dean was better than this one. But going back to Roman, I don't know if the people are still shitting him today. I mean, or now, because I understand WrestleMania season, no one didn't think he was ready and all that stuff. It just seems like a little bit after WrestleMania season, the boos got away. I don't hear that much booing anymore, to be honest with you. So can this lead to what our caller called in? Can it lead to a possible Brock Roman Reigns match at SummerSlam? And when he comes out, is there going to be booing, or because those boos are pretty much going away now. So,
well, you gotta also remember Roman has his cities where he's gonna get cheered. He has his cities where he's gonna get booed. Kind of like John Cena.
So Cleveland loves Roman Reigns.
I guess so.
All right. Well, we'll see what happens when SummerSlam happens in New York. Because I don't know. To me, I just feel like those Roman Reigns hate. It's pretty much dead. That's how I see it now. I don't feel like people talking smack about Roman Reigns anymore. I don't hear shit around anything anymore. I heard. It's funny when I was waiting to go to those Lucha Underground shows, people will talk smack about Roman Reigns. So I was like, whatever-ish. Just like you, Skip. I knew something was gonna happen in WrestleMania, and we end up happy. End up leaving happy at WrestleMania.
You know what? This is one way to find out. First, let's let Tom cover his thoughts, and then I'm gonna tweet out, does Roman Reigns still get heat?
Yeah, I thought the match was okay. Like you said, I tweeted it out during the show. If you're going to start off the show with the Money in the Bank match, you're going to have to do a lot of high spots, and there was very, very few high spots going on in this match. Of course, you had Kofi getting powerbombed onto the ladder, which was kind of cool. Couple stuff off the ladder. Neville got RKO'd off the ladder, which was that was pretty cool. But the ladder wasn't used, I think, as much as it should have been. And one of the big problems with these, 7-men Money in the Bank matches is that there's points in the match where you won't see a guy for 5 or 10 minutes, and you'll be like, where the fuck did they go? Did they just go and, lay out on the floor and do nothing? Did they pass out? Like, what's going on? So that aspect I really, really dislike. There were points where I was like, where the hell is Dolph Ziggler? And then 2 minutes later, he comes running up the ladder. And you'll be like, where's Kane? And 2 minutes later, he comes in the ring and starts chokeslamming people. And it's very discombobulated. And obviously the result of the match I didn't see coming. I don't really know how to feel about it. I've been enjoying Sheamus's new heel character. I think it's been working. I think it's something fresh. But would I have given him the Money in the Bank? Not really. I don't think he really needed it. I truly thought Roman Reigns was going to win. I don't. The Bray Wyatt thing I didn't see coming. I don't know. It's just it was kind of a head-scratching match, head-scratching finish. Nothing, like I said, nothing bad about the match. But these Money in the Bank ladder matches seem to kind of be like getting slower and slower as the years go on. You need a really fast-paced match when you're doing something like this. But yeah, that was okay.
Well, question to both of you guys. is it possible we'll see Sheamus win? You can cash it in and win the title, or not? Because I see it happening if they do it in the fall. Because due to the fact that there's all these rumors that Seth Rollins could be turning face, and then if they go that route, who's going to be your top heel? And
I mean, honestly, the whole Seth Rollins situation, comment you just made, I haven't heard no comments about him turning face anytime soon.
Well, WrestlingHeads.com saying that, it's been posted that, Seth Rollins could be turning face if you read the article.
When was this?
Go to WrestlingHeads.com. Just read it.
What article are you talking about?
The one that got posted this morning. There's something in the paragraph that got posted this morning about Rollins could be turning face.
I don't know.
That is true. That is true. That is true. That is true. It's possible.
It was just really confusing that they decided to give this to Sheamus. It was like one of those moments where it was like, why? It was just like, what the fuck, why?
John, I felt the same way yesterday, but then now you go into what could be Seth Rollins turning face. You need a top heel. I don't think Kevin Owens could. I know what he's been doing lately, the last 24 hours to get there, but do you want to have Kevin Owens already going after the title, like over the babyface going after Roman Reigns or babyface Seth Rollins? You really want to do that now?
Well, they're already counting him as a top heel without going after a title, So.
Yeah, and it's like Sheamus, I don't think had enough heat going into that Money in the Bank match to solidify him as a top heel. I don't know.
Well, that's what I said. That's why I said if they're gonna do this with Sheamus, he better cash it in sometime in the fall. Because if you're gonna have, let's just see what we're all expecting is gonna happen. Roman Reigns becomes WWE champion at SummerSlam. Then who are you gonna go after? Who are you gonna put against Reigns? Brock's not gonna be there for a while. So
yeah, I don't know. That's why.
And
it's so weird because I thought, because WWE needed a top heel, that's why when we were predicting it, I know me and Matt said it, that Roman Reigns cashing in last night after Ambrose won made sense because right then and there you have a top heel. You have Reigns acting as your top heel, and he can, and it can lead to Seth Rollins becoming a baby face and all this different stuff, but I guess they decided, a different direction is probably necessary.
Yeah, keyword possibilities. So it's not like he's actually going to go heel yet. This is all talk right now, so keyword possible. Let's go ahead and move on. The next match at Money in the Bank 2015 was actually the Divas match. Nikki Bella versus Paige. I don't even want to get into this noise right now because I'm really about to shit on these girls real quick. Or shit on whoever's writing this trash. Because this whole twin magic shit is just terrible. That's so 2005 and shit. When nobody really know who was who. When the Bellas were super quiet, these bitches actually talk now, and come on, dude. I don't know what they're doing, and we all know Paige is leaving soon, so why even keep her in this story? I feel like we had this conversation before.
Well, interesting. What we saw last night that when Bree admitted that was her, disguised as Nikki, it's kind of interesting thing that, showing how she made her boobs look bigger and show off the tattoo. I'm like, wait a minute, is she really supposed to do that? Mentioning, telling everybody, we all know it's out there, but not putting it out there, saying, okay, Nikki got bigger boobs than me, and I
Wait,
have, right down there. I mean, that was kind of weird, but
well, she showed a tattoo. She showed a It was a tattoo that she was showing. And what really pissed me off was, like, how do you have the other Bella come in the ring, and you ring the bell like page one, but then you continue the match right away to have the other Bella win. That didn't make no sense. No fucking sense. But hey, it's WWE.
I don't get it. I didn't like it. Match was okay. I'm pretty sure I tweeted it out that it was going to be another typical Divas match. It wasn't going to be something different. It wasn't going to be something. This is a Raw Divas match. There was nothing about this match that really separated it from something that you would see on Monday Night Raw. And it's tough. It's tough because I look at that Divas division now. It is in really, really rough shape. I mean,
it's a pure joke.
Yeah, like Nikki Bella's title reign, I'm sick of. I'm fucking sick of, but I know that WWE wants her to keep the title to surpass AJ as the longest reigning Divas champion. I just fucking know that they're going to do that to spite AJ and CM Punk. I know they're going to do it. But I'm sick of Nikki Bella being champ. I can't believe that Twin Magic was back. I thought that bullshit from years ago was going to be stopped, but evidently not. Bellas were faces for about 3 weeks, and then they were heels, and then they're faces, and they're doing all this stupid shit. And what Paige is doing now, where she's like, we need to get rid of the Bellas and we need to do all that. We've seen this before. AJ did the same exact fucking storyline. Same exact. Like, we're almost word for word. It's just like, can these people come up with anything new? Can these writers and can this creative team come up with some new ideas for Divas? Is it that fucking hard for them? Or is it just that the higher-ups just don't give a shit about the Divas division? I don't know what it is. I don't work behind the scenes at WWE. If I did, I would probably be punching multiple holes in the wall because of how frustrating it must be. And, think about that. You have to think about what these women are doing. And then, obviously, I think a lot of people, and, we do it as well, you compare it down to NXT. And that Sasha Banks-Becky Lynch match, after it, people were raving about it. One of the best women's matches in WWE, maybe ever. Match of the year candidate. They killed it. These women are the best. So much praise came out of that match. And then you watch that and you look on Twitter and there's 50,000 to 100,000 tweets of people saying this match fucking sucks. That finish fucking sucks. It's ridiculous. I don't want to go any further with this thing.
Well, I just want to go right to this right now, so we wanted to go through it later. Well, tonight, Paige basically, she had a match with her against the Bellas 1-on-2. A lot of folks thought somebody was going to make their debut, and I'll get into that in a few seconds. Well, it really looked like Paige was going to win. And I don't know where Nikki coming out with this new move where she punches you in the face, and then she does her finisher. Is she like the Big Show or something? And then she does a punch in the face, and then does her rack attack. But anyways, the Bella's got the win. Of course, the storyline's not going to end. It's going to go on the Battleground, and I'm going to call it right now. It's obvious that you see Paige basically saying she'll have a mystery partner at Battleground, and it's gonna be Charlotte. I think it's her time. So
Well, yeah, or what our callers said, possibly earlier. Maybe she'll come out next week and help out.
that's what the guy that called earlier said.
Yeah, it could go either way, a mystery thing, or Charlotte's gonna come down next week and help out Paige. You know,
I would
Charlotte.
like to see it like the Bellas get like scared. You know what I'm saying? Like have
Yeah,
her show
and
up out of nowhere.
the perfect person would be Charlotte. You know,
Yeah, but
I mean,
what I'm saying is like have like her music just hit and then they just get like all scared in the fucking ring, on the day of the pay-per-view. I think it'll be more dramatic.
well, either way, it doesn't matter. You can have
And
some
plus
on
she'll
Raw.
plus she'll get like a super big pop, because a lot of folks love NXT. We get those NXT chants. I don't know. That's just me. If I was the booker, that's what I would book.
Yeah, I mean, pay-per-view or next week Raw, I think it will be huge when Charlotte comes out. When her music pops out and there's the Bellas, shitting in their pants. It doesn't matter. It'll work in either way. Charlotte's due to the main roster anytime soon. So it seems like it's been planned. If you watch NXT, it looks like it's getting planned that Dana Brooks is going to kill off NXT. And she's going to be on the main roster pretty soon. And, maybe her steals will be against the Bellas. So, all right, we'll see what happens. Maybe in the next few months, the Divas division would change. I think even Emma teased a tweet that you will see a new Divas division coming up. Maybe you'll see another rematch between Paige and Emma type match you saw on TakeOver about a year ago, transition to the main roster. So we'll see what happens.
And if those two have a match on the main roster, they might make a statement. But Tom, your thoughts on the whole Charlotte predictions? Like, how would you book it? Would you have her come up right away, or do you think like her showing up at Battleground would be better?
Yeah, what's going on? My phone was going like in and out, so I couldn't hear you. That's why I was trying to like.
No, oh no, I was just saying for the predictions that we're making here, if you were the booker, would you have Charlotte show up early, or be like a mystery partner and just show up at the pay-per-view and like have the Bellas all scared? Like, how would you book it?
I would probably book it like Paige goes out there each week and starts giving me hints about who it is, and maybe the Raw before Battleground, I would have Charlotte come out and attack the Bellas with Paige. Say like Paige is in a 2-on-1 beatdown. You have Charlotte's music hit, and then she comes running down to the ring, clears the ring of the Bellas, and then that sets up the match. Because I think debuting her at the pay-per-view, it would be tough because you want to hype up the match.
Right.
So when you debuted her the week before, it gives people incentive to say, I got to check out that match because Charlotte is going to be teaming up with Paige. So that's probably what I would do. But even with Charlotte on the main roster now, the Divas division has still a long way to go. Long way. It's going to take all 4 of the main women down in NXT, Charlotte, Bayley, Sasha Banks, Becky Lynch. Once they're all up there, I think the Divas division has a good shot at making a comeback.
Yeah. Real quick, I just want to give a shout out to my boy Ricochet for retweeting my tweet. Good looking out, my boy. Which we'll get into a little later about that retweet. King Ricochet's the man, in case you didn't know. Follow him at King Ricochet. Do so, because I say so. Real quick, let's get done with Money in the Bank. You want to take the next match, Oscar?
Okay, remember the next match, what it was? If I'm mistaken, was it the Owens?
No.
No, wasn't next the Intercontinental title match between Ryback and the Big Show? Good. All right. Let me fucking go off on this fucking match.
I went to the bathroom, so.
This was my Listen to this. This was my fucking bathroom break. I called it on Thursday. I said I'm going to the bathroom during this match. So I went to the bathroom.
This is my shit break. Because my bathroom break was more.
Well, see, I made the mistake and I shit before the pay-per-view, so I didn't get the chance to have a shit break. But anyway, so I went and took my piss and I got a drink and I come back and all of a sudden I hear the winner of the match by disqualification, the Big Show, but still WWE Intercontinental Champion Ryback. I'm like, of fucking course, this shit feud gets a shit finish by shit Miz. The Intercontinental title, in only the span of about a month, has decreased so much. Holy shit, this title is back to being a fucking joke. Oh my god. Fucking short-ass, bullshit, pointless match in a pointless feud with the Big Show. He needs to fucking go. Ryback needs to be in a legitimate feud with a legitimate competitor and get a legitimate good match out of it. I'm sick of having fucking Big Show pass the torch or, just because Ryback's strong.
What is he passing?
I don't know.
Fucking bum. Sorry.
This feud isn't done. Now the Miz is in it. Most likely a battleground is going to be Miz versus Big Show versus Ryback. I can see it coming. Nobody gives a shit. Nobody gives a shit. Ryback is over. Everybody loves chanting, "Feed me more." He's pretty over. This is going to decrease his popularity because people are going to stop giving a shit. A lot of the older fans have already stopped giving a shit about this, but the younger fans are just going to get bored of this and probably fall asleep as well. It's ridiculous. Another ridiculous bullshit finish. Oh my god.
Let's go on to some more important shit.
Yeah, that was the theme of this pay-per-view. Bullshit, stupid finishes.
Breaking news, guys. Breaking news, because tonight on Raw, Kevin Owens powerbomb Machine Gun Kelly. Tell me, I'll give up you guys a tweet. Is this tweet sincerely or is it all part of the story? I'd like to apologize for my actions tonight. I got carried away.
Part of the storyline. Are you kidding me? That was so planned. Did you see that obvious crash pad that Machine Gun Kelly landed on? He took a pretty good bump. I don't like Machine Gun Kelly. I actually muted Raw when he came on. I don't like his music that much. But I
was watching Progress Wrestling.
Yeah. he took a pretty good bump, but I mean, come on, it's part of the storyline. Owens, I can without a doubt say that Kevin Owens is the best thing going in WWE right now. The best fucking thing. And I guess we should segue into the match of the night last night. Kevin Owens, John Cena, the rematch. What a match. I think this was better than their first match because we saw new moves from both guys. I mean, we talk about this a lot when we see great matches, but I watch these two, and it's natural chemistry. They feed off of each other.
Man, props to John Cena, dude.
Yeah, and it's really crazy because usually when guys have really good chemistry, it's because they've been working with each other for a while. Kevin Owens just came up to the main roster. It's not like he was working down in NXT with John Cena or something along those lines. He just came up to the main roster, and you can see the natural chemistry they have with their promos and with their matches in the ring. I mean, it's phenomenal stuff. This was the best thing last night. It was the best match. They had the best match at Elimination Chamber.
You know what? That could be arguably, I could argue it's probably I'd say it was one of the best matches because I really think the main event was good too, but we'll get into that later.
And
But
I thought the main event was good, but it wasn't this good. I can say that pretty safely, just because I thought it was just perfect, storytelling wise. It was perfect move wise, pacing wise. There wasn't really a point where it was.
And
really,
it's funny because I was gonna say Kevin Owens kind of helped Cena do his sunset powerbomb. He's kind of saved him a little bit.
Yeah, it was like the half Canadian destroyer. I forget exactly what it's called.
It's called the sunset powerbomb.
Well, I thought the sunset powerbomb was like when somebody's on the top rope and they do the full flip, not when they're like standing up. But regardless, I mean, like I said, I thought this was just a great match from beginning to end. Seeing the winning.
A couple times they almost botched, and like Owens would like make sure that they don't botch. One thing I do respect about both guys. Well, what's
and you know what? I didn't hear. The one good thing is I didn't hear Cena spot calling a lot last night. I didn't really hear him calling a lot of the spots, which is
pretty
good.
Sure Kevin told him to chill out on that.
Yeah, it's probably like, listen. He's like, you need to be a little bit quieter, and Cena was probably like, okay. But I mean, like I said, just a phenomenal match. Oscar, what did you think of Owens and Cena too?
You know what? It's funny you mentioned that about the calling off the spots, whatever. It's funny, but I heard Dolph Ziggler saying something to Owens during their match today in Raw. But 2 was good. I like 2, but I like 1 better. 1 got me more excited, and
because 1, I want to say 1, Owens is like ready, and that was his first pay-per-view. You know what I mean? It's more. This one was more fast-paced.
Yeah, and like I said earlier, I like this match more because we saw Cena doing new moves. We saw Owens doing new moves. The counters made sense. There was a lot of good near falls. I think a lot of people like the first match better because of the unpredictability that Owens won. But like I said, two great matches in the span of 2 weeks. It's great stuff.
Go ahead. I'm sorry for cutting you off, dude.
No, it's good. I just pretty much said that I like the first one better than the second one. But unfortunately, I had it right, though. It's Cena was going to win this match. And of course, in the end, when Kevin Owens powerbombed to the apron of the ring, then, unfortunately, we all know it's going to the dispute to continue on. So we'll see what happens in the next few weeks between Kevin Owens and John Cena. I give out my predictions what's going to happen in a few weeks earlier today. So
we might as well just mention what Kevin Owens mentioned in his promo. He basically said the next match that he has, he wants to be for the U.S. title. So Owens has to go over. He has to. If he doesn't, then this was a waste of feud.
And it's tough to say right now, but somebody mentioned this on Twitter, and I'm kind of thinking about it. Right now, if you're talking about like wrestler of the year, Kevin Owens is probably at the top of that list.
I can argue that. I can argue about.
I'm talking like mainstream. I'm not talking like take away Japanese wrestlers and independent wrestlers.
I'm not even mentioning. Honestly, I haven't really seen no Japanese guys really do nothing big yet. But Roderick Strong's having a hell of a year too.
Well, yeah, I said, take away like ROH. I'm talking strictly like WWE mainstream. I mean, I would put Roddy above Kevin Owens obviously too. But I'm talking like, how PW Insider does their whole thing. Obviously, I don't think they put Roderick Strong as number 1 because they're kind of more mainstream. But
hold on, can you hold at that time? I'm gonna put on from Eyes on the Ring. I'm gonna put on Nathan. He's gonna chop it up with us real quick. What's up, Nate Dog?
Hey, what's going on, guys?
What's going on?
Yeah, not too much. Long time no talk.
Yeah, man. I didn't understand that last tweet you said. The one before I said call up.
Hold on, give me a minute.
You asked me, do you think there's a chance for that battleground?
It had to do with Battleground. But I will, if we talk about that later, I will get to that. But I don't want to interrupt you guys and what you guys are talking about. So.
Well, give us your thoughts on the Kevin Owens John Cena match.
I thought it was pretty good. Actually, I thought it was really good. I liked the first match better because it was a first-time thing, and I was super excited about it. Like, I was really excited about this match, too, but it didn't carry the same importance for me that the first match did. And I thought this match was, like I said, really good, but from a preference standpoint, I enjoyed this first match just a tad bit better. And
like I was telling like I was telling the guys, I feel like this match was more fast-paced because they were on a time. It was more fast-paced, and they really moved well together. Like, if you watch the first match and watch this one, they move more slower on the first match, and this one was more fast-paced. Like, they were, like, on point, you know?
Yeah, because I mean, I'd have to imagine that the first match they were kind of like feeling each other out, and then this match they kind of knew what they were gonna do, and like I said, I mean, it's like I said, I think it's the best thing going in WWE right now. This is the best thing going on.
It's crazy, and it's a mid card. Yeah, that's the thing. That's the sad part about it. But I still gotta give credit.
I was gonna say, I don't know about you guys, but whenever I hear Kevin Owens' music and I see him walking down, like it still like shocks me, and like I still get like that unbelievable feeling that like, man, Kevin Owens made it, and he's kicking ass within. He hasn't even been in WWE for a year, and he's like kicking ass, and it's kind of so like surreal. I don't know if you guys kind of get like that. It's like Kevin. It's like I was watching Kevin Steen a year ago, wrestling Nakamura, and he's in ROH and PWG, and he was just doing his PWG almost a year ago. It's so surreal.
It's funny because I had gotten an argument with this dude. He tried to call me a fucking, basically a fake fan, and tried to say I could have looked up Kevin Owens and stuff. I'm like, stop it, bro. Like, I've attended like promotions that this guy's been wrestling before he even went to the WWE. That I was trying to mention, like, look at all these Owens fight signs. He was like, yeah, all those guys probably looked them up. I'm like, stop it, bro. Sit your ass in the corner.
And you know what? Who gives a fucking shit if you just learned about who cares if you just learned about him or if you've been a fan of him ever since he was wrestling in Quebec? It doesn't matter.
Yeah. I hate that shit. Like, as soon as someone gets signed with WWE, you've got people that will always be like, oh, I've always been a fan of this guy, blah, blah, blah. Or you've got the naysayers that will do exactly what Skits just said, basically, like, just shit on people for liking someone, and it's stupid.
It's ridiculous. I agree with you there. I hate when people say that. Oh, I was watching Seth Rollins when he was Tyler Black in Ring of Honor. I was a fan of his since day one. I remember seeing him against Davey Richards. I was a fan of him. I was rooting for him. It's like, shut the fuck.
It's like they want a medal or something. It's like, get the fuck out of here.
It's like, yeah, okay.
Sorry, just change the subject. Sorry about that, guys.
So, yeah, I knew about Seth Rollins and Dean Ambrose and Kevin Steen before WWE, but I don't give a shit. I'm happy for them. That's the only thing. I'm happy that they made it. And I'm happy that more guys are making it. I don't consider myself an elitist fan just because I knew them before WWE, but regardless.
To be honest with you, I'm going to say one more thing, and then I'm going to move on. I don't know shit about Tyler Black. I mean, not Tyler Black, excuse me, Tyler Breeze. To NXT, to be honest with you.
I didn't either.
Well,
I knew he was Mike Dalton in like FCW, but besides that, I didn't know anything about him.
Yeah.
Shout out to Matt Jackson on his tweet. Next time I go to a concert, I'm gonna powerbomb the lead singer off stage.
That's awesome.
That's great. That's great.
Let's go ahead and move on. We have new tag team champions, primetime players, and that match was so fast. I feel like I didn't even get to see it.
Well, this is why I said this last Thursday, and I was listening to Eyes of the Ring, and I respectfully disagree with you and True God last night's show, Nate. That you guys were saying that you guys don't know what's going on in the tag division. Well, I said this on Thursday. The New Day are in the point where they don't need the tag team titles. You give the titles to the primetime players. You have options. You can have them go against the Ascension, like you guys were saying last night. But you guys did not mention this one tag team, Luke Harper and Eric Rowan.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
you guys just mentioned it all last night.
Like, they were in the back of my mind, but the only reason why I didn't mention them is because I don't see them as a threat right now because they just reformed not that long ago.
Yeah. You've been watching SmackDown. Sorry, Nick.
No, I don't. I do.
Well, they cut a promo. They actually cut a promo after they destroyed what's the name? What's that tag team's called? Oscar. Yeah, Los Matadores. Yeah, as soon as they destroyed him, Luke Harper's talking on the mic, bro. Talking on the mic. No Bray Wyatt. Harper's talking on the mic, cutting the promo, basically saying you guys wouldn't accept us, but we're coming for what's ours, basically. And
okay, well, good.
So they're pushing them, but they're pushing them on SmackDown. That's the thing. So people got to start watching SmackDown.
Hey, I'll be honest. It's funny. It's funny because I for the last couple of months, people are shitting on SmackDown. Well, they're still seeing people. They're shitting about Raw, saying, "Oh, there's less wrestling on Raw." If you want to see like wrestling, and less promos, you watch SmackDown. I don't know why people are complaining about SmackDown these days.
Another way you can watch SmackDown and just go on YouTube. Go on YouTube and watch. If you don't want to watch it, go on YouTube. You can watch
I've got a DVR,
match.
So I can just fast forward through what I need to, which is what I do. But SmackDown to me is pretty much like Raw 2.0, where there's no need for it because they do all the same shit on SmackDown that they do on Raw. So like all the good matches on SmackDown are repeated on Raw. SmackDown, like, it's pretty much a recap show. And I said this on Eyes on the Ring last night, they either need to cut Raw back to 2 hours, or they need to cut SmackDown to 1 hour. And I think that would solve a lot of their problems.
But Triple H, you remember what Triple H said, right, on that Stone Cold podcast? He said he said if you had one thing to change on Raw, he said to go 2 hours. Triple H wants to go 2 hours. We all know that one now.
Yeah.
Now who wants to go?
I think a lot of guys in management want to go back to 2 hours. The problem is USA wants it 3 hours, and they're paying them more money to have it 3 hours. So there's money right there.
Talk to Kennedy, Vince Kennedy. That's the man that makes the last decision.
Not even Vince McMahon can't even stop it. It's USA. It's their network. It's the same network. They're putting their shows on USA. That's how they're getting their money, because of USA. They're giving this huge check. When they probably re-sign with them, they're saying, okay, we'll pay you this much money if you have it 3 hours every week. And
SmackDown's supposed to go to USA also.
Get for ads and shit.
You guys know that, right? SmackDown's supposed to go to USA too, so but that's gonna be on Fridays from the word from our hearing. But let's kind of move on because we kind of stuck on that conversation. It's a good one though. I'm not gonna lie. But look, try to find that promo with Luke Harper cutting.
Yeah. But like I said, the tag division. There's a lot of options to do with the tag division. Like I said, you can have the New Day go against guys like main eventer guys they got no plans with. Like just say they didn't put Dean Ambrose against Kane and Randy Orton against Sheamus, then you can put those two guys against the New Day. I'm just saying the New Day are on a different level than any other tag team because they're heat.
I'm gonna have to definitely agree with Oscar, because if you go back, I gotta give the New Day. I think it was Big E and maybe Kofi. They went against Roman Reigns and Randy Orton. That match was good, I thought.
And they beat them too. Yeah, but like I said, they're in a point where you can't have anything else for your top guys like Randy Orton or Roman Reigns or whatever. You can have them go against the New Day. So I feel like they're at that level. Just need the tag team titles.
Yeah, I was at least happy that Primetime Players got the tag team titles, because they should have gotten them years ago before they split them up.
Like Nathan said last night.
Yeah, I said the exact same thing last night, because I said the Primetime Players, when they were a team the first time, should have got the belt. And, like, I'm happy that they got the belt last night, but at the same time, it's like it's almost too late for me to care. You know what I mean?
I feel where Nate's coming from. But I feel like Darren Young, a lot of people give him shit, but I feel like Darren Young's got way better in the ring since he disappeared and came back, too.
Yeah.
I've never had a problem with Darren Young. I think he's a good wrestler.
I think so as well. And one of the funny things is, I think Primetime Players are still just as over now as they were before they split up. Because whenever they come out, they cut to the crowd, and you see waves of people doing, the millions of dollars dance. So people are into Primetime Players, and I think Titus and Darren Young, ring work aside, I think they're cutting some of the best promos. They're funny guys. I like how they kind of do the little subtle things about Darren Young being gay, and he's having fun with it. And see, that's what the whole thing was. When Darren Young came out to being gay, I was like, I hope WWE doesn't make him into like the typical gay character, which thankfully they didn't. But I like how they kind of hint at some of the things about him being gay. It's definitely something refreshing that you don't see a typical, it's not like WWE is just like, here's Darren Young, he's gay. It's just like, no, he's himself and having fun with it. So I can definitely like that and like what they're doing. And you know what? It freshens up the tag division. Still a lot of good tag teams out there. This Primetime Players New Day thing is probably going to keep going for a little while.
Yeah, they'll have it for the next show. But real quick, last night Seth Rollins versus Dean Ambrose. Seth Rollins had no help. I just want to say one thing. I enjoyed this match. One reason why I did, because this is the first time I've seen the WWE have a main event for 44 minutes. I believe it was 44 minutes. That match was long. When was the last time we had a main event that long? And this is what we used to see back in the days, This is stuff that the guys are used to, and like especially Dean Ambrose and Seth Rollins, because back in the Indies, these guys would wrestle like long matches every night, in like main events, and a lot of us wrestling fans, we complain about, oh, that match was short. It's supposed to be the main event. It was short, but this match was long, and it made Seth Rollins look strong by itself, powerbombing the shit out of fucking Dean Ambrose into the fucking walls. Shit was crazy. Like, Dean Ambrose, he had his spots too, but at the end of the day, a lot of people were complaining about the finish, or how they both fell at the same time. What I thought they were gonna do is, due to both guys falling, this is a draw. I thought they were gonna do a draw, but Seth did fall first. If you go back and look at it, but it was a good match to me. You guys' thoughts?
I gotta say, best match of the night, and I have to say this is a rivalry that we can remember years from now, 10 years from now. It's a classic rivalry, or one of the best rivalries in WWE history. you can say, because you can go back watching The Rock and Triple H going at it for the Intercontinental Champion. Then it went to a point where they went after the WWE title. Same with Rock and Austin. This is a classic rivalry, and hopefully we'll see a WrestleMania match between these two, because it's been great. They've been coming up with great matches. Almost every match a great match. I don't remember seeing a bad match between those two. So it's a rivalry that we're all going to remember 15, 20 years from now.
Yeah, I think so as well. I liked the match. I didn't think it was match of the night. I liked that it went a long time, but there were certain points in this match where it was just going really slow. I mean, like, to the point of where I was like, all right, they need to pick it up a little. A lot of time of just, like, sitting on the ground and just dragging it out. I didn't like that. There were some cool spots. I like Dean Ambrose, back body dropping Seth Rollins over the apron onto the ladder that was bridged between the apron and the announce table. I like that. Seth Rollins doing that sit-out powerbomb onto the ladder where there was chairs on it too. That looked like it hurt like a bitch. Big props to guys taking the bumps. I thought the match went too long. I thought it could have been cut by 10 minutes, and it would have still been fine.
From what I read earlier, Tom, Tom, well, the reason why he was working on his leg with the figure four leg lock is because they still had time, so he had to do something.
That's why. I felt like, the match was 40 minutes, and you could have cut it by 10 minutes and had it been a half-hour match, and I think that would have been better because you would have been able to get all the spots in kind of in a more well-rounded pace instead of having a lot of slow spots in the match, because I like long matches. Obviously watching Japanese wrestling and New Japan in particular, because a lot of their matches go 30-40 minutes on the regular. Like I said, I thought it was still a good match. A lot of people were complaining about the finish. They're like, "Oh, it wasn't a clean finish." I'm like, "What are you talking about? It was a clean finish. A clean finish is
no interference."
Match. Yeah,
there's no such.
There was no disqualification. I was like, there was no interference. There's no bullshit finish. It was just they both had the title and they both fell off, and Seth Rollins won the tug of war in midair. It was a clean finish. Definitely, like I said, definitely a good match. And that finish also proved to me, because it wasn't like Dean Ambrose was laying on the ground and Seth Rollins just did the typical climb of the ladder and grab the title. That finish kind of proved to me that, like, Dean Ambrose is, like, just right under Rollins in WWE's eyes, is that he was that close to winning it. So it kind of makes it seem like WWE has a lot of faith in Dean Ambrose going forward, that he can, be a world champion anytime. I feel like they could put the bet on him anytime. It's really weird because I was thinking about this, but it kind of sucks because now with Tyson Kidd being out, a lot of people aren't bringing this up, but man, I miss Cesaro. I miss the guy.
Same here.
In a couple of weeks, and I feel like if we need another main eventer to get in there, Cesaro's like the perfect guy.
Yeah. If real quick, I know this is off topic, but if this is really Silas Young through Twitter, the man just fucking favored us talking Money in the Bank. If this is really him. Do you guys know if Silas Young has a Twitter?
Who?
Silas Young.
Yeah, he does.
Yeah.
Is it Last Real Man ROH?
I'm not sure. Give me a second.
Okay.
too.
I'm looking it up right now. I thought Silas Young would be the type of guy to not have a Twitter.
Maybe we gotta do it for the company. But
yeah, I'm looking at the Twitter right now, and
yeah.
Cause he favored our tweet of us to. Wow, the man favorite is talking. What we're talking about. Shout out to Silas Young. If that's you right there.
At first, when you said that, I thought you said that he was burying us talking Money in the Bank.
Oh, he favored a tweet.
Oh, no, I thought you said he was burying us. I was like, wait, why the fuck is Silas Young burying us? What the fuck? I was like, I love Silas Young. What the fuck?
Real quickly, before we get into this PWG talk, I just want to let everybody know, if you're a Zack Sabre Jr. fan and you never have seen him and you're in the Florida area, Evolve 45, he'll be going against Davey Richards, and Evolve 46, he'll be going against TJ Perkins. That's July 10th and July 11th. Make sure you go to the shows. Zack Sabre Jr. is a fucking beast. Might be one of the best in the world. Probably the best technical wrestler in the world. If you ain't seen him, if he ever comes to your city, I don't care what promotion he's going to wrestle at, you go see him, damn it. That man is a fucking pure wrestler. Straight up. And also, if you want to watch him, I'm going to go ahead and promote them because this promotion is dope. DemandProgress.com. Progress Wrestling. Right now, I'm in the middle of watching the Super Strong Style 16 tournament, which is kind of like their Bola. And Zack Sabre Jr. is one of the guys that's in a tournament. These are familiar names I'm going to name. You got Tommaso Ciampa in there, Roddy Strong. And guys that I've just got familiar with, Will Ospreay is one of the guys who was announced as the first entry to PWG Bola. All I got to say, this man is a fucking beast. He reminds me of not too much of Ricochet, but he's got the Ricochet type of style. That's why I tweeted to Ricochet and said him versus Ricochet would be nuts. Book it. It's hard to say. Will Ospreay.
Yeah, I mean, it's funny that when I saw you over the weekend, you were raving Progress, and I heard the company. You know, I have to get into all this, the British stuff, because I just feel like international wrestling.
London. These guys are in London too.
Yeah, London. But I'm saying all the British wrestling, there's a lot of talk about British, so I gotta start checking more British stuff out instead of Japanese and Mexican. So
right.
I mean, yeah. So it's like it just seems like a lot of people are really getting into international. So I gotta follow the British.
Mexico's where it's at.
Huh?
Mexico's where it's at for me. I watched the AAA pay-per-view last night.
Yeah. Yeah,
So.
and I say is, Nate, I can't wait for July when Angelico and Jack Evans come to PWG.
Ooh,
Nice.
I mean, PWG, like they do this on purpose. You know, we're watching Raw, we're bored as hell, and all of a sudden they're like, you know what, this is the perfect time to break Twitter. You know, Will Ospreay, I've heard some great things about him. You know, in the different promotions that he's been working at over in the UK. You know, really young guy. I think he's like 22 years old. One of the fastest rising guys right there in the UK. Just some great stuff. And then Marty Scurll, another name announced.
That guy's a beast too. The
check
villain.
him out. I mean, he was when I first started to get into, you know, the British wrestling scene. He was one of the first guys that people pointed me to. I really didn't know much. So I was like, who should I watch out for? And people were like, Marty Scurll. Guy is great. He is a great character.
You know who he looks like? I'm gonna let you know right now, Oscar, when you see him. He looks like JT Dunn a little bit. He He does. He looks just like JT does. I swear to you.
Yeah, a little bit. But and of course, PWG also announced the Wolves are coming back for the anniversary show, which I'm psyched about. They do some great work in PWG. So I'm looking forward to having them back. Jack Evans back in PWG. It's been a long time for him. Can't wait to see him on Helico. But the one I am most hyped about. The one I am most hyped about.
Real quick. I just want to go back on a Helico real quick. A Helico is a fucking monster. I wonder what spot he's gonna do at PWG. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
dude,
remember Oscar?
He's gonna jump off of the top of the Legion Hall.
I was just about to mention that. Oscar, right where we sit, right behind that, the stands. We was like, remember I think it was you. You was like, I wonder who would ever jump off of there. I think you mentioned. You was like, what if Ed Helico came here and jumped off of there? You know what I'm talking about, right?
Yeah. But then the thing is, you're not at the show where when I witnessed the leap from the match against the Crew. I was there.
The leap was nuts. The leap was nuts.
Yeah. And I think the one we saw later, the ladder match, I think that was better than the one I saw. When he kicked Cortez Castro from the ladder, that was nuts. I think that was more nuts than what I saw at the one trios tag match for the finals. But
this is gonna be my first time seeing Jack Evans though. I've seen a Helico before, and of course
I'm not
like
a huge fan of Jack Evans, but him teaming with Angelico really works for me for some reason.
Yeah. I mean, in AAA, they're one of the top tag teams.
Yeah, and they like the AAA show that I watched last night. They were in a cage match, and that match was really fucking good.
They had a big win over they were rivaling with the Familia Black for maybe quite a while. It just seems like the Familia Black, that tag team of Evans and Helico were going until they beat them last night and they cut off their hair, if I'm not mistaken, right, Nick?
Yeah, they did.
Yeah. So
that pay-per-view that I ordered, I wasn't sure. Like, I thought it was going to be in English, kind of like the Lucha World Cup, and then I found out that it wasn't. But it didn't hinder my enjoyment of it because I watched Money in the Bank earlier today along with Raw, and English commentary, even if you can understand it, sucks. So
I was gonna say welcome to my world when it comes to. I was gonna say welcome to my world when I watch New Japan Pro Wrestling.
No, and I watch CMLL and AAA all the time on YouTube, so I should be used to it, but I'm still not. Because for some reason I was expecting it to have English commentary and it didn't. So, but the fact that it didn't really throw me off. But
because me myself, I love the Japanese guys. I don't care what the fuck they're talking about. Like I was trying to tell Matt.
They get so into it.
I was trying to tell Matt, like, fuck what they're saying, bro. Like, they're fucking, they're fucking just going nuts, bro. And it's crazy.
I love the Japanese commentary for New Japan and Dragon Gate shows. They're so amazing because they'll say like 100 things in Japanese and then they'll just say like an English word just to be like, and it's just so random and so funny. But what I was going to get back to, because we're mentioning all the names that PWG announced, but the one I am most hyped for, holy shit, Akira Tozawa coming back to motherfucking PWG. Yep. Holy shit, I love it. Tozawa is the best.
This could be another person that me and Oscar both are gonna get to see for the first time. Like, it's gonna be crazy, and we know what he can do too. Like.
Yeah, Akira Tozawa was part of PWG, before me and Skip started.
Back in the early days.
Yeah. Back in 2015. But now you can say finally get to see him, and first time in person. So thanks for that. But I have a question for all you guys. Will all these names be announced for the July and also the Bola show? Is it possible we can see any of those names at Mystery Vortex next weekend?
No. I don't think it doesn't make sense to me because you just gave up your mystery.
Yeah, you can. I don't think you can get Tozawa just because they probably booked him in advance, so no for that. Same thing for Skrull and Ospreay, because shipping out guys from
those
either
guys are going to
Japan.
Bola. Those guys are Bolas for sure. Those are Bola exclusives.
Yeah.
And the thing about Davey Richards and Eddie,
maybe
like you can have.
Out of anybody, I would guess maybe Davey or Eddie. Maybe.
I don't like me myself. I don't even see Davey or Eddie. Like it's supposed to be Mystery Vortex. Why even announce guys for your next pay-per-view? Or excuse me, not next pay-per-view, but your next show. And the show's called Mystery Vortex. You don't want to give up your mystery that early.
Well, yeah, I'm saying when the show happens, like if we're gonna guess who's gonna be on there, obviously they're not going to announce beforehand. But if I had to guess, if anybody was going to be on there, that's going to show up. I say Davey and Eddie are the best chance to be mystery surprises. Just because they're here in the States, they don't have to travel far. They're probably not as expensive. They both go back with PWG, so I don't know. Once again, PWG, they're killing it. They're killing it.
Yeah.
They're killing.
My bad. I was gonna say let's take a quick break, real quick, and we'll get back and start closing up the show. We'll be right back.
Hey, this is Biff Busick, and you are listening to Wrestling Heads Radio. Hello, pro wrestling fans. This is pro wrestler Brian Kendrick. Thank you for listening to Wrestling Heads.
Don't stop believing! Brock Lesnar! That's one person who we forgot to mention. Brock fucking Lesnar showed up tonight at the end of Raw, where we didn't really go too much over Raw tonight, but Seth Rollins basically guys were going up to him tonight by the names of King, the J&J Security, and Dean Ambrose, and they all basically wanted a piece of that title. So Stephanie and Triple H, they said, we'll announce your next opponent at the next pay-per-view. And, of course, at the end, it was Brock Lesnar! Suplex City! Suplex City! T-shirt is on point. Didn't it say Cleveland? It said Cleveland, right?
No, I don't know about Cleveland, but this is Suplex City, though.
I could have sworn it said Cleveland. It had Cleveland City on there, too. Hold on. Let me look it up right now, if I can find the picture of Brock.
Yeah. I think a lot of people knew that Brock was returning back because it was kind of rumored that he was going to be coming back tonight, but still, still great. I mean, Brock Lesnar, he's one of a kind fucking wrestler. He doesn't even have to say anything. He just gets in that ring and he gets like the biggest pop of the night, maybe besides Kevin Owens powerbombing Machine Gun Kelly off the stage. It's great. It's great to have Lesnar back. I mean, whenever he's coming and doing promos and suplexing motherfuckers across the ring, it's always a fun time. So it's good to have Lesnar back.
Yeah, and I don't know how the WWE did his shirt like that, but it does say Suplex City, and under it says Cleveland, Ohio, and I think it says exit F5 exit or something like that. Like, I don't know how the fuck they, like, is it going to have, like, the city of wherever they're at? If they do shirts like that for Brock Lesnar, dude's going to be making mad bank. Because the shirt's pretty dope. But just like Tom said,
he's already making mad bank. He's going to be making even more mad bank.
Yeah. Just like Tom said, man, like Raw it had its ups and downs tonight.
Owens
event.
and Ziggler, was a good match.
Definitely. That was you know, a lot of people had their complaints about the match, and some people were like, "Oh, this is gonna be a good match." Like, 'cause I guess some people wanted it to be an NXT title match. I didn't care as long as you have Kevin Owens look strong at the end. That's how I
See,
felt.
I was glad that Owens said, no, this is a non-title match. I thought that was such a great touch because he's like, I'm not John Cena. I'm going to do it my way. I thought it was better that it wasn't an NXT title match.
Yeah, it's all good. But also, you also forgot to mention that what makes me laugh when Johnny Manziel was in the crowd and fucking Seth Rollins had the nerve to call him Johnny Idiot because we all know how Johnny is a fucking idiot.
Draft day, Johnny Manziel.
Yeah. I even didn't know he was a fucking fan, but oh well. I'm glad.
Well, you know how it is. You got to support
Everybody.
you know how it is when you're like in a certain city, that certain team is gonna come support. You know, I think some Cleveland Browns were like there too. So
yeah,
because there's a photo on Twitter of like primetime players and Jerry Lawler with the Cleveland Browns, and I think Summer Rae. So like they were just showing love back to the WWE. But yeah, just like Tom said, it had its ups and downs. I really think the main event was good, which was New Day and who else?
It was New Day taking on primetime players and Neville.
I don't know why I said. You know what I was about to say? New Day and Kofi Kingston. I almost said that, but
yeah, that was a good match. I'm glad Neville got the pin. Yeah, it's been good. I don't know where Neville goes from here, but it was good. Somebody mentioned this on Twitter, and I kind of wanted
New Day didn't get the pin.
Yeah, I wanted to get your guys' thoughts on this because I don't think it's going to happen, but some people think that it might be a possibility.
Real quick, you said New Day got the pin?
No, Neville got the pin after the red arrow.
Okay.
Yeah.
But somebody mentioned this on Twitter, a possibility for a tag team match going forward. Brock Lesnar and John Cena taking on Kevin Owens and Seth Rollins. Do you think that could happen?
Possible.
Yeah, it's possible.
I think it's too early to tell.
I think it would be better if it was a fatal four-way, but that's just my personal opinion.
Well, it would.
But
I think
if you want to throw opinions out there, I have one for you. You want to keep Kevin Owens and Brock Lesnar away from each other for a while. Let Kevin Owens really, really, really be one of the top heels, and then thinks he's already big shit right now, but really thinks he's big shit, and Brock Lesnar comes down, and then have him go at it.
Yeah, that's true. It was just something like that would be a huge. Imagine that as a main event for Raw. That'd be a huge match that people would definitely tune into. Yeah,
I think a lot of people are rushing Owens to face Brock Lesnar already, and he's only had his first big match against John Cena. You know what I
mean?
Yeah. All right, I got something maybe we could talk about because we only have almost 20 minutes left on the show. But I don't know if you guys think this is true or not, but supposedly there's linked photos of Scarlett Bordeaux.
Oh, shit.
Escort, supposedly. But
it's not her,
dude. Wait, what is that Scarlett Bordeaux?
It's definitely not her. I already went to the site. Me and Matt both.
Wait, I didn't hear what Oscar said about Scarlett Bordeaux. You said, what about her?
Suppose there's linked photos of her that she done escorts before. I don't know what recently or she started wrestling or whatever, but there's linked. I think it's her, but it kind of looks like her to me. So I don't know. I was hoping you saw this, or maybe Nate might have saw the photos, but there are those photos.
No, I didn't. That's the first I've heard of it.
Well, I could show them to you later, Nate. but you can decide.
Yeah, DM me or something. I need to see these, whatever the fuck they are.
I actually have some Ring of Honor news before we go off air. There's been a new match added for those that do not know. CNC Wrestle Factory is getting back together, baby. CNC Wrestle Factory are getting back together. Got Caprice Coleman and Cedric Alexander going against War Machine. And for those that do not know, Best in the World, the pay-per-view is actually going to be this Friday, I believe.
Yep, Friday.
This Friday, live on pay-per-view.
And I just want everybody to know this Thursday, we'll have one of those guys that's going to be in the number one contender matchup here on WH Radio. We'll talk to him about Ring of Honor Wrestling, New Japan Pro Wrestling, and much more. Michael Elgin is coming through, so be sure to listen to that Thursday.
Yeah, should be a fun interview. Should be a good time. Lots to talk about because Elgin's doing a lot of different stuff. So it's gonna be an interesting one.
Yeah. We're kind of going to go ahead and end the show a little early because got that much more to talk to. I just want to give congratulations to the Blackhawks.
Screw the Blackhawks. But anyways, me and Nate could talk about the AAA pay-per-view. We know that Alberto's still the champion due to the fact that interference. Yeah.
I wasn't sure how I felt about that match, to be honest. That Cage versus Alberto match, I mean, you know that it's going to... They're obviously leading to another match, but that's way too overbooked for my taste.
Yeah.
Well, don't give out any spoilers. I still haven't seen it yet.
No, I know. I'm just saying, like, I'm not going to give out any specific spoilers. I'm just saying, when you watch it, look out for a lot of overbooking.
Yeah.
I hate when other companies do that. New Japan did that so much, and it was like, that's what WWE does. And see, I hate it when Ring of Honor does it too. Because it's like, that's WWE when they overbook shit. Like, I don't want to see that for Ring of Honor or AAA or New Japan. Like, that's why I watch those companies. I don't have to see overbooked shit.
Yeah. But Rey Mysterio, there's everybody talking about his entrance. He did his own Terminator entrance last night, and I guess he won. He won the team of him, Miss Estes, and defeated the team of Pentagon Jr. Who else was in that team? Was Pentagon Jr. and who else? Nathan?
Hold on, I can't remember. So I gotta look.
Wasn't it Psycho Clown in there?
No.
Yeah.
He lost earlier. He lost their tag belts earlier, but it was. I think if I'm not mistaken, wasn't it with Pentagon Jr. Hijo de Fantasma and Tejano? Was that the main event?
It was Mystices, La Parca, and Rey Mysterio versus Johnny Mundo, El Macias, and Pentagon Jr.
Yes, yeah, okay. All right. Well, so, Rey Mysterio, La Parca, and Mystices won, but I haven't seen the whole event yet, but I heard some ups and downs. I heard a lot of raves, like you said. I mean, heard some negatives about their Real and Cage match, which maybe got a little frustrated that that's going to continue on. But
it was just overbooked to holy hell. But if the plan is to do another match between those two, then it'll make sense. But if they're just going to cut it off at them having one match, then it's not going to make too much sense going forward. And also, I don't know if you saw the match that Phoenix was in, Oscar, but he took a bad fall and got injured, so I don't know what his status is going to be going forward.
Oh man. All right. Well, I haven't seen the whole event yet, but if Phoenix still got hurt, oh man, that's gonna suck.
Yeah, he was in. It was a 10-man elimination match.
Yeah.
And by elimination in Lucha, it means it's one fall, which doesn't make sense to me. But yeah, Phoenix did a dive out to the ring, and I think he hit his head on the floor, which those floors don't have padding. So I think they had to cart him out, and he was out for the rest of the match. So I don't know what his status is going to be going forward, and that really fucking sucks.
It's funny that you just mentioned Phoenix because Phoenix is supposed to make an appearance soon at AAW.
Yeah, but
weird.
That's in the fall.
Yeah, and Phoenix was supposed to be in Chikara for this King of Trios. It was supposed to be him, Drago, and who the fuck else was it? It was.
I can't even remember.
It was supposed
Hectagon
to be
Jr. maybe?
No, I'm thinking Hexagon Jr. Let me freaking go on Chikara's website.
Aerostar, isn't it?
Yeah, it's
I think it is
Aerostar.
Aerostar.
Yeah, it's Aerostar, Drago, and Venus.
Man.
Aerostar's a beast.
Well, and I've only seen. I just want to mention this quick. I've only seen Bengala wrestle 2 times between the show I watched last night and then last Wednesday's Lucha Underground, and that guy is really good.
Oh yeah, he's really good. But check out. Well, hope in a few weeks when Ultima Lucha comes out, you will see his other match. You'll see there.
Definitely, I can't wait for that.
Yeah, and I if I'm not mistaken, I believe Ultima Lucha same day as Takeover. If I'm not mistaken. It's gonna be in
I think
August.
you might be right.
Yeah.
They said it was in 8 weeks.
August.
But if that's the case, I'll be watching Ultima Lucha first, and then I'll save Takeover for later.
Well, I'm gonna watch Takeover because I already saw Ultima Lucha, so I was there.
Well, I know you did, but I'm just saying for me, I'm gonna
for those of us that don't live in Southern California, Oscar.
Yeah, fucker.
But there was some other news I wanted to get before, because I know we're getting to wrapping up the show, but so apparently there's been word about what happened at the tryouts over the weekend for all the guys that were there. Apparently, Drew Gulak made the biggest impression there from what Dave Meltzer said on Wrestling Observer. He said that Drew Gulak made a really big impression on there. He mentioned him, Biff Busick, and Chuck Taylor as the guys who kind of impressed the most. He didn't say much about Gargano. Who else was in that tryout?
Busick.
I said,
I
said Busick, Gulak, and Chuck Taylor. They said made the biggest impressions.
I know the ladies like Taylor Hendricks was there.
Yeah, he mentioned that Jessica Havoc looked really good, except for the fact with the whole Twitter situation going on, so that really hurt her chances. Dave Meltzer basically mentioned, he said that she would have been signed if it wasn't for that whole Twitter thing coming up. He said that they would have signed her right away.
That really sucks for her, because those tweets were old as shit.
Yeah, she still, I mean, I understand that, but she still should have never tweeted them, put them on Twitter in the first place.
True.
So, but, Meltzer said that within the next couple weeks to maybe months, he'll have more on who, maybe is going to get signed. So, good luck to everyone. I think a lot of the guys that were in there should get signed. But, who knows?
Yeah, we'll see what happens. I mean, see what girl or guy will get signed. But, fortunately, we'll see if Gulak gets signed. I'll be up to see him there. I mean, I want to see him longer in independence, but if he gets signed with WWE, well, good luck to him, But anyways, we got 10 minutes left on the show. What, we want to give our plugs? I think Skits is on. No?
I'm here. I'm just letting you guys talk. Go for it.
All right. Well, I guess we should give our plugs, but I know this Friday is Best in the World, and Thursday we got Elkin, like we said earlier, Skits. I think it's funny that on Friday we didn't get to the whole card. Maybe we should give out the updated card in case our listeners don't even know for Friday's event.
Well, I can do that.
And we're gonna mention it Thursday as well. So.
Yeah. Well, I know we don't know the main event. It's going to be title for title. Jay Briscoe against Jay Lethal. That's going to be a good one. We also know about the triple threat, which our guest on Thursday, Michael Elgin, is going to be in there, going against Roderick Strong and Moose. Then we also got ACH and Matt Seidel going against the Decade. Then you got the Kingdom against the Bullet Club. Also, a match we haven't discussed yet, but Dalton Castle going against Silas Young. Think that's going to be a good one. I know Tom wants Dalton Castle as a guest. Skits, let's make it happen. You see, I already know it.
I'm telling you, if we need a guest, I'm going to keep saying we need to get motherfucking Excalibur on here to talk PWG because PWG is out of control. Control.
I'll tell you right now, that's not going to be easy. I think we have a better chance getting Dalton Castle than Excalibur. I'll tell you that. But we'll see.
Keep going with the plug.
Yeah, let's just give out our plugs, man. Follow us on Wrestling Heads at Twitter and at Instagram. Check out all of our photos and me and Skits, whoever we met, and we post all our photos out there. And Skits been doing all these reposts on our Instagram, so check all that out. You can follow me at Sinister632 on Twitter and Instagram as well. You can check out WrestlingHeads.com. I probably won't do another Classic Match of the Week this weekend due to the fact I got 2 things this weekend, so that probably won't happen. And yeah, just check out the website. Check out all of our writers. Shout out to our writers out there. I think, if I'm not mistaken, we have a new writer, Skits. No? Well, fuck yourself then, Skits. All right.
I was on mute. My bad. Yeah, we do.
Yeah,
and that's funny because the whole time I was talking and trying to give out the card, and yeah, go Dr. Castle.
Yeah, fucking Skits. But anyways, I think that's all I could give out. Go on our YouTube. YouTube.com/WrestlingHeads. Check out our latest stuff and old stuff. Just check out our episodes on there. I guess. And ProWrestlingTees.com/WrestlingHeads. Just support us out there. And in case anybody's listening that sees me and Skip the shows, we're bringing shirts pretty soon, possibly at the PWG show next weekend. It looks like that's most likely going to happen. Keep an eye on that.
Hopefully, we can give Eddie and Davey a fucking t-shirt.
Well, I would love to, but they've never been a guest in our show. Let's have them in our guest in our show.
I don't give a shit. It's Eddie Edwards and Davey Richards. We're in a wrestling.
I don't give a fuck.
Big deal.
It's done. There. We don't give them a shirt till you become a guest in our show. We give them one to Biff Busick. I'll give one to Sue Young. Fuck it. But as long as we have them in our show, we'll give them a shirt.
I'm giving fucking
Chris Hero.
Eddie Edwards a tee.
Cool. Whatever.
Anyways.
Go ahead.
Back to WH Sketch is a motherfucking Twitter. It's where I like to tweet wrestling. You can follow me tonight if you want. I'll be probably watching Super Strong Style 16 Progress Wrestling. Finished watching that, and maybe I watch some Smash. Maybe I watch Samoa Joe versus Chris Hero tonight. Wrestling Heads, of course, just like Oscar said. I'll be majority of the time I'm tweeting, but you can also catch Oscar on there too. What else we got? That's it. I think Oscar already gave out all the fucking plugs. YouTube.com/WrestlingHeads, and also shout out to my boy Zach, who's actually making sure these T-shirts get done, and yeah. Shout out to Mark too, and also let's go ahead and pass it on to Tom. Go ahead.
Yo, the Tom, the Tom right here that wants Dalton Castle on WH Radio. So go ahead.
Dalton Castle's the man. That's why.
He's the man. But
Team Dalton
anyway,
Castle, baby.
Speaking of Dalton Castle, you can follow me on Twitter. That actually has nothing to do with Dalton Castle, but I don't care. You can follow me on Twitter @ToTweetMe. That's really my only social media account. That's where I'm tweeting wrestling. That's where I'm talking everything. So make sure you follow me on there. Make sure you guys go and also follow our boys over at the Weekly Wrestling Podcast @WeeklyW Podcast. I know they were at Alpha 1 over the weekend, so they got results for you there if you like. Bunch of other stuff as well. Always they got the big indie news going, and make sure here on the Elite Podcast Network you check out Indie Power Rankings tomorrow and Wednesday. Tomorrow they'll be on probably 8 o'clock Eastern, and then Wednesday they'll be on 3 o'clock Eastern, so make sure you check those out for all the big indie news going on. Make sure you follow everybody else on the Elite Podcast Network, which leads me into Mr. Nathan. Nathan, take it away.
You can follow me on Twitter @Headliner5. Of course, you can follow Eyes on the Ring @EyesOnTheRing. Go to the website, eyesonthe.ring.com. There is a bit of a role reversal. True God Immortal usually does a series called The Underrated, where he looks at a wrestler or a group of wrestlers that he believes are underrated and examines why he believes that they are. This week we have Speed on the Beat, who is taking care of that particular article as he looks at J&J Security. And then there's another series called Was It Really That Bad? And that is normally Speed on the Beat series where he watches terrible pay-per-views on the network and examines whether or not they were that bad. And this particular article was handled by True God Immortal. So again, it's a complete role reversal. And then there is also a Life in the Attitude Era by George. You can follow him @GTA Peel. That's PEEL. Life in the Attitude Volume 3. And normally I would write a Ring of Honor review, and I would have had that out by Sunday. But I had to go to a wedding this weekend, so I was able to watch ROH, but I was not able to review it, unfortunately. So I will be back to my regular scheduled shit next week.
And it was funny, last night, I got me cranking up when True God said, Kevin Owens got to get the fuck out of NXT. That shit made me laugh for some reason. I don't know why. I don't know. But, you know, that's True God. But anyway.
Yeah, that is true.
But anyway,
And
Thursday, Michael Elgin. Check that out. And hopefully Tom will get his wish. We'll get Don Castle in here.
Listen, there's like 150 wrestlers I wish we can get on here.
Well, unfortunately, you want John Cena. We'll see what happens.
No, I don't.
I would love.
I waited. John Cena's a fucking. John Cena.
I would take John Cena. I would John Cena on the show any day of the week. You know what I mean? Listen.
Yeah, I probably would.
I don't give a shit. Shit. But
we couldn't have him on the show because he would just go over. You know, Cena wins. LOL.
I will cry if we have the Undertaker before he goes on.
Yeah, fucking. I have a better chance of getting struck by lightning, then going on to get Sasha Banks, and then marrying her, and then divorcing her, then marrying Bailey, and then getting struck by lightning again. Then the Undertaker coming on the show.
That's a hell of a time.
Well, since we didn't come on air with no music, we're going to go off air with music and some plugs if you didn't get them. See ya. Peace. Thursday.
Peace.
Welcome to the Elite Podcast Network, home of the #1 independent wrestling coverage, available on iTunes, Stitcher, Blog Talk Radio, and wherever you get your podcasts from. Follow us on Twitter at Elite Podcast Net and join the revolution now.
WH Radio.